Now that you're done with the Sharpie and erasing all pencil marks, it's time to add color with crayons. Make sure to grab a placemat to go underneath your drawing. I'm going to start first by coloring in this sandy area. And a great color for the sand might be a really light yellow, a peach, and if you don't have either of those, you could use a light brown. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my peach. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline carefully the area that I want the color to go first. After I outline, I'm going to fill in larger areas by coloring in a circular motion or in different directions. And I'm going to take it one small section at a time. Next, we can color in our rocks or bushes. I'm going to color my rocks in with a gray or a brown that's a different color than my sand. But you could also pretend these are bushes and color them in green. As I color, I'm pressing down hard so I'm getting nice rich areas of color. As I work today, I'm testing the colors I want to use on a scrap sheet of paper. If you don't have one, you can also test it on the back of your artwork. The reason why I do this is because many colors look different when you use them than they do on the wrapper. Here I practiced using each of the greens I thought I might like to use, and then I selected my favorite. Go ahead and choose your favorite green and begin to color in the grass. Remember, you want to outline the section carefully and then work in small areas at a time, pressing down hard and going in multiple directions to get a nice even application of crayon. Now let's talk about the paths leading up to the lighthouse. Some of you added these wooden steps. If you did, take a Sharpie and add some broken lines to make it look like it's wood. Then take a lighter brown and color in the entire rectangle. After you've used the lighter brown, you can take a darker brown and overlap in a few places, and that'll give it a look like it's actual wood. Some of you added stepping stones leading up to the lighthouse. Great colors to use for your stepping stones would be gray or brown. You could do light brown or dark brown. Others might have added a pebbled path. Pebbles tend to come in a variety of browns, grays, and sometimes even black. Now it's time to color in the water. You're going to want to test out the blues that you have. Hopefully you each have at least 2 different blues. Testing out your crayons is helpful because some of the colors look different than they do on the actual label. This one looks like a darker blue, but when I color it, it turns out actually very light. I'm going to save that one for my sky. Once you've found the blues you want to use for your ocean, you're going to alternate between your different blues in each section. If you have 3 colors, you can color each section a different blue. If you only have 2, you'll want to alternate. For example, in the top section I could do dark blue, in the middle section I could do light blue, and then in the bottom section I could do dark blue again. Notice how I'm leaving those areas where we added curved lines white. That's because that is the white foam on top of the waves. Here I am using a lighter blue in between these 2 lines. Remember, each section should have a different blue. Now I'm going to choose a light blue for my sky. This could be a new blue, or it could be the light blue that I used in between my top and bottom blue in the waves. This area is going to be colored yellow because that's the light coming from my lighthouse. So I need to skip that area and I'll jump above it and go and color next to the roof. Don't forget to color on both sides of the roof. Once again, I'm going to skip these sections. Those are going to be yellow because it's a light coming from the lighthouse. So I will color the section below blue and leave the sections in the middle white to be colored later. Now that we've finished coloring the sky, it's time to color the light coming from the lighthouse. These two sections we will color yellow. After you've colored the light on either side of the lighthouse yellow, we're going to color the yellow circle that the light is coming from. And finally, before we can put this yellow crayon away, we have to color the windows. Now don't forget, for these smaller areas that we're coloring, it's always helpful to outline the shape first that you're coloring in. And now we're ready to color our lighthouse. Lighthouses come in different patterns. A lot of them are striped, and they alternate between two different colors. For your pattern, you can choose whichever two colors you'd like to use. For my pattern, I chose to alternate between red and white. If you're using red, try testing it on a scrap sheet of paper because a lot of the reds look different on the wrapper than when you color with them. Some of them may actually look quite pink. If you also choose to use a white, it's again a good idea to color on a scrap sheet of paper first. Sometimes other colors get mixed in with the white on the tip of your crayon, and we don't want them to show up in the white on your picture. Because we're alternating, the next section of my lighthouse is going to be my red. My pattern will then be white, red, white, red. This is called an A-B pattern because we are alternating between two colors. And don't forget, just because I'm using red and white doesn't mean you have to. You can choose whichever two colors you'd like to use for your A-B pattern. Notice how I'm careful to color around my windows. I can actually add another color right there underneath the yellow, so I'm going to leave those white for now. I'm also going to leave my railing white. Now onto the roof. If you gave it different sections, this is a great place to use your A and B pattern as well. You do not have to use the same colors that you did on the lighthouse pattern. For example, here I used a dark orange and a light orange, but you can use whichever two colors you'd like to. You can color the lighthouse door whichever color you'd like. I decided to use a dark brown and a light brown because I wanted it to look like an old wooden door. Finally, we're going to finish this picture by coloring in the windowsills. I chose a light blue, but you can choose whichever color you'd like.